Do you really think you're your anchor like you can hunt us down? You're the weakest of all, and that's why we saw Jinwoo easily decapitate you in one swift motion. Until then, we've seen Jinwoo undergo Saya's training, making his body incredibly powerful. All the hospital nurses start dying around him, and then he comes home looking for a part-time job where he ends up in a dungeon with a group. In that group, there are Yo and Jinwoo, new members, and the whole group is left in that dungeon to die. Moving forward, the group eventually makes it out, and one member asks, "Why did we even come out? Couldn't we have killed them right there?" Then Don-suk says, "Are you crazy? If we had done that, the spider would have woken up, and we would never have obtained the mana crystals." I don't know what the world calls that anchor, but without a doubt, neither of us can defeat that boss without a completely compact plan. So, we'll wait for them to die, then let the spider fall asleep again, and after that, we'll take out the mana crystals. Then Kyo-won says, "Would I have to attack there again?" Then Don-suk says, "If we wake up the spider again, we'll have to defeat it, so we'll take a new route that I've already seen. And if it wakes up again, we'll have to defeat it, but do you remember that boy with the sword? The shield belongs to that armor, and its price is also very high. So if we don't get mana crystals, we'll give him his armor back. Let's see who his father is so that we can at least attend his funeral." Then Kyo-won says, "The last time I caused an explosion, that boss was already very angry." Then Don-suk says, "You're right, and that boss is very dangerous, so those people can never escape from it." Then Yo, looking at Jinwoo, says, "What are you thinking? Only a hunter above S rank can defeat a S rank boss. So you can't beat it, let's find a way out from here." Then Jinwoo thinks, he's absolutely right. Even though I've reached the level of reawakened, I'm still very weak. That snake will definitely be a D rank boss, and that golem will be even weaker than a D rank, but this boss is definitely much stronger than them. But for some reason, I'm not afraid to face it. Have I become so strong that I can stand in front of an S rank boss without fear? But I'm only at level 18, so I should try to defeat an S rank master. Then he attacks it and thinks, we hunters are called for a reason, so the hunt has started. Then the scene shifts to the president returning from his meeting, where he asks about their well-being. Then the president, Go, says, "All these meetings have really exhausted me." Then he says, "If you're free for a little while, would you like to play a match with me? I'm sure you'll enjoy it." Then President Go says, "Even though I'm getting old, I can't refuse a youngster's request like this." Then we see Jinwoo fighting with that monster, thinking, its skin is really strong, and it has a lot of power in its attacks. If I make even one mistake, I'll be dead. Then he starts fighting with it again, saying, "These movements can't be from an E-rank hunter. Who is this guy? What does it mean? Is he a false ranker? I've heard many stories about them. There are very few people who can control their magic and register in a low rank, and these hunters are called false rankers. Many of them even kill people for fun, and then he gets scared when he sees Jinwoo and thinks, what am I doing here? Please, Dad, save me." Then Jinwoo thinks, its outer skin is really tough, and so far, I haven't been able to do much damage to it. If things continue like this, I'll get even more tired, which will automatically decrease my speed, so I need to use the power of my dagger to defeat it as quickly as possible. And then he analyzes its weak spot and starts attacking it. We see the spider throwing acid on him, and somehow Jinwoo manages to save himself and thinks, this guy has another trick up his sleeve. It's really getting tough, and if this goes on for too long, I won't be able to hold on. I need to reach it as soon as possible. Then we see him using his new skill, which greatly increases his speed. We see him attacking the spider at full speed, but its head is extremely hard, so it doesn't make much of a difference. Then Jinwoo steps back and thinks, if one attack doesn't work, I'll keep attacking it repeatedly. Then he starts repeatedly attacking the spider, and he thinks, this thing is too fast, but does it have enough stamina to last long? What is it trying to achieve? Then Jinwoo starts advancing towards the spider at full speed, but suddenly we see him getting completely exhausted, which slows him down, and the spider throws him away. As soon as the spider tries to attack him with its fangs, we see Jinwoo dodging its attacks and attacking its eyes repeatedly with his dagger's special ability, trying to paralyze it. Eventually, the spider dies, and Jinwoo's level. As he falls, Jinwoo thinks, "Thank goodness I hadn't claimed the daily quest reward before. That's why I could use the full recovery again." Then he wonders, "I can't believe he defeated this boss with just bananas. He's definitely a false ranker." Jinwoo then retrieves a magical item from the spider and says, "Boss, shall I take this magical gem for you, and I'll keep an eye on this bag too. Here, have some water." Then he starts smashing the mana crystal with the banana. Jinwoo thinks, what has gotten into him? Then we see Don Suk's group returning, and we see President Go and Woo playing a match where President Go seems to be dominating. President Go says, "I'm really impressed by you," and adds, "You're truly an amazing fighter." Then he admits, "I've grown a bit weaker since my youth, but your moves are quite impressive, showing how much practice you've put in." He continues, "Training may not increase our ranks, but it can surely enhance our body and techniques." President Go concludes, "You're right. We need to train not only our hunter powers but also our body and mind because we're always heading into danger, sometimes clashing with humans." One member of Don Suk's group remarks, "Seems like this boss was much weaker, perhaps due to this kid here. But these hands of his seem quite feeble." Don Suk then advises, "Your armor is impressive. Do you need your father, Yoan, the head of planning, for this?" He then offers Jinwoo a chance to finish off the boss. He explains, "You must have understood by now that we keep weak people with us to fill up the numbers, so we can leave them to die when the time is right and keep all the loot for ourselves. If you want to get out of here alive, you'll have to kill it." Don Suk speculates that it's because of this kid's armor that they managed to defeat the C-rank dungeon boss so easily, implying that he could be extremely dangerous. He warns, "If you don't listen to us, both of you will die. And there's no need to fear, as no one will know what happened in this dungeon. Is a D-ranker like you afraid of an E-ranker?" Then we see Yoan stepping forward with his shield, and Don Suk says, "So you're on his side. Let's start with the weak one first. Boys, tell me, have you ever killed anyone?" And then we witness a new quest appearing in front of Jinwoo. As Jinwoo ventures forth, he's tasked with eliminating those 6 individuals. Suddenly, Kyuan ambushes Jinwoo, causing him to fall back. Meanwhile, hunters gather, discussing their organization. Hajina mentions how they were informed that their A-rank dungeon training was progressing with Miss Cha. Then, Gina reveals that the E-rank hunter defeated the mouse in a matter of seconds, leaving everyone astonished. However, most are eager because he wants to become the captain of the strike team. They consider themselves lucky to collaborate with major organizations, aware of rumors about high casualties among their teammates. Jinwoo reflects, realizing the harsh nature of this world, where survival depends on adapting to the situation. It's a world filled with nothing but fights and betrayal, and he's accustomed to it. Ultimately, the system seems to want him to survive. Jinwoo acknowledges that if the system wants to use him, he'll use it too. He had forgotten that in this world, the weak always have things taken from them. Then, someone remarks that it seems the weaker person has understood everything. Jinwoo responds, saying, "So that means you also know how all this works. If you're hunters, then get ready to become prey." Another person approaches Jinwoo, expressing confusion about what's happening, doubting if a hunter like Jinwoo could hunt them down. Before anyone can react, Jinwoo swiftly strikes, stunning everyone by swiftly immobilizing the person with a single blow to the head. Don Suk reflects, acknowledging that while his companions might have become overly confident, they were dealing with an E-rank hunter who was ultimately defeated by a D-rank hunter. Jinwoo contemplates, admitting that while he may be adhering to the system's rules, he too has committed murder. He realizes that if he hadn't, his heart wouldn't still be beating. He can't afford to retreat now. If only the powerful can win, he'll become powerful and demonstrate it. Suddenly, two individuals attack him, but Jinwoo swiftly paralyzes them with his speed, incapacitating and cutting them down. He then swiftly eliminates another person before Kyuhyun attacks him. However, Jinwoo manages to evade Kyuhyun's attack and retaliates, successfully taking down all 5 members. Yo, impressed, remarks that Jinwoo is even more powerful than he was at that time. It seems like at the time when he fought with this boss, Don-soo expresses disbelief over who could have defeated his entire team in one go. Then Jinwoo responds, indicating that someone was hiding their powers and suggests it must be him, the one who defeated the boss. Despite being just an E-rank hunter, Jinwoo feels much more powerful than all of them. He activates his magic, thinking that after defeating the boss and his 5 companions, their strength must have diminished. Using his speed and the special power of his dagger, Jinwoo takes down his companions. Due to his reinforcement skill, his body has become stronger than steel, making him impervious to attacks. When the boss attacks Jinwoo, he confidently informs him that even though he might be strong, Jinwoo has been leveling up all this time. Don-suk wonders how he was beaten down and starts to doubt if Jinwoo is really just an E-rank hunter. He even pleads for mercy, but Jinwoo questions if Don-suk truly believes he would forgive him after 3 attempts on his life. Don-suk retorts that Jinwoo won't be able to escape, to which Jinwoo reminds him that in this dungeon, nobody knows what happens inside. Don-suk, frustrated, asks if Jinwoo even knows who his brother is, and Jinwoo responds affirmatively. Without even listening to what he has to say, Jinwoo swiftly strikes him down, completing his task. As the danger tune starts, an officer remarks that according to their assessment, all the C-rankers are dead, and only D-rankers and E-rankers remain. This is truly surprising, and Jinwoo's armor seems remarkably powerful. It's clear he must have defeated the boss and saved the E-ranker. As the case closes, Jinwoo wonders if this time he received a new skill as a reward. It's called the Murder Intent skill, which instills fear in his enemies for a minute, having their abilities. Jinwoo expresses gratitude, and then rain begins to pour. Jinwoo asks if everything's okay, and he was just thinking how fortunate it was that he gave his sister an umbrella. Literally, as soon as Jinwoo cuts the man's throat, I was completely shocked. It was the most unexpected thing ever. I knew he had to kill them all, but to do it like that? And the background music? Man, the background music during the whole fight was so epic. But yeah, I'm just thinking about what's going to happen next in the series. So, guys, make sure to comment and let me know how you liked this episode.